Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Abby. I'm with Fitness is Medicine. And today I'm going to give you a band workout. So just a band. So if lots of times people have these from physical therapy that they may have had for something and they're just sitting around, or if nothing else, you've got a bunch of them because they're really easy and portable and great for getting a quick workout in without a lot of equipment. Okay, so just bands. You can do this one seated or standing or using a ball, adding some balance if you want to, but I'm going to show some of them seated, some of them standing. Know that you can do them all either way. So we're going to start with a row. I'm going to move my chair out of the way just to demonstrate this. This one is a pretty easy one to do if you just find something sturdy to wrap your band around, and then you can pull nice and slowly. Now I want you to, I'm going to demonstrate here where you can see my back just a little. I want you to squeeze those shoulder blades back and together like you're trying to squeeze a pencil between your shoulder blades. So you're driving your elbows back, you're keeping your shoulders down, and we're going nice and slowly. So even if you're used to lifting heavy weights and you like to lift heavy weights or whatever, you can still get a workout in. Like if you're traveling or if you're just getting back into it after it's been a while, this is a great way to do these. I'm gonna double mine up just to show that you can make it harder pretty easily. So I just doubled it up. You can triple it up depending on the length of your band. And then just squeeze back, and it's really all about that squeeze for those postural muscles and those upper back muscles. And you, even with just a band, you can get a good burn in those muscles. Okay, so now we're going to turn it around and we're going to do a chest press. So it's the same positioning on your sturdy object, whatever it might be. You can wrap it around a door handle or a railing or something like that. But we're going to push away, the opposite way. So we're going to do a chest press. So we're going to pull and then we're going to push. It's really easy, and like I said, it's one of those that you can take a band with you traveling. People might actually be traveling again soon, believe it or not. And it's easy to throw in your suitcase, and you don't have to worry about, I'm going to try wrapping it here to make this a little bit harder. You don't have to worry about, adding extra weight, and you can do this pretty quickly too. So doubling it up for that one was too much. But you can hold it tighter if you need to make it a little bit harder. But then again, going more slowly and really focusing on form, really thinking about pushing forward, breathing all the way through, going nice and slowly. Now notice that I have my feet staggered here, and then what this does is it helps protect my back and it gives me some good leverage. If I'm standing with my feet together, it's okay, and you can do it like that. You really will have to engage your core a little bit more, which is good, but also your back might want to take over. So if you're having any weakness or some fear about low back, you can do stagger your feet. So I was just holding it with my arms on the inside. I'm going to do it now with my arms on the outside. And you can do it either way. You can find what's more comfortable for you. And the more you do it, so right now, I talked about 3 sets of 10 type of thing. Like we do a set of 10 and then we move on to the next one. You can do more. If you find that 10 is just like not doing it for you, you could do 12, you could do 15, especially when you're doing a band workout like this. As long as you really focus on form and you think all the way through, you're thinking about those muscles. If you do 15 and you're starting to feel it a little more and maybe you want to go to 20, that's okay. Especially if you're feeling like you need a little more. Bands are great for that, so you can get a little bit more muscle endurance. Okay, now we're going to do biceps curls. So we're going to keep that band and we're going to stand on it. So depending on the length of your band, you can stand and curl like this. Now, if you're able to, let's add a little balance. So I'm going to do a tandem stance. One foot right in front of the other. Really slowly, all the way down. If your band is too short and you can't stand and do this, you could do it seated and step on it this way. Same thing. You're just using your, or you could wrap it around like here. I could wrap it around the base of my chair here. And most, kitchen chairs and things like that have, a bar across the bottom like that where you could wrap it and you wouldn't have to worry about stepping on it or if that's uncomfortable. So you can use the chair as your base point as well. Okay, bicep curls. I'm gonna refresh my screen here and make sure I'm, okay. And then we're gonna do shoulder press. And this is probably even more so where it would come in that the band just isn't quite long enough to stand on. So I've wrapped it around the base here. And we're gonna take it here, and I'm, again, just kind of like my chest press. I'm gonna bring it on the inside and I'm gonna push straight up. So it's not rubbing on my skin, it's not rubbing on my elbows. You can wrap your band around your hands if that makes it easier to hang on to. If you're still having trouble hanging onto it, you can grab, maybe a washcloth or a small hand towel or something to use. The other thing is you could use tubes that have handles on them. And sometimes you can buy handles that work with your bands as well, so make them just a little bit easier to hang on to if your hands are giving you a lot of trouble with these. So with this one, a common thing is that people want to raise their shoulders. So keep those shoulders down even when you press up. So my shoulders are staying down away from my ears. I'm not letting them come up like this. I want to go up straight. And again, you can kind of play with the range of motion of your band. If you can't make it all the way up straight, you can stop about here. That's okay. You're still getting that range. You're still getting that shoulder flexion or shoulder work and really working those deltoids. Okay, next we're going to grab the bands into your hands like this. And again, you can do these seated. You can stand up. You could try them maybe standing on one foot. So let's try that. Of course, you can sit. I'm going to stand on one foot and do a shoulder external rotation. Now, this isn't a very big range of motion. I'm holding it like I'm holding a platter. So I've got my band here. There's just a few inches in between, and I'm just bringing it just a little bit wider than my body, and that is it. I don't want to go way out here. That's too much, and it kind of, you start using other muscles. It's a pretty small range of motion. All it's working is these external rotators in your rotator cuff, and this is also really good for posture. So if you do have shoulder pain, oftentimes this is one that you can do because it gives you just that stabilization in your posterior shoulder, and you'll start to feel it pretty quickly with this one. Okay, now you can just hang on to the band. This is the only one we're not going to use the band, but we're going to do ab leans on the side of your chair. So seated in your chair, you can use a kitchen chair, you can use the side of your bed, you can use pretty much any sturdy surface. If you have a really soft bed, it won't work very well. So if you have a firm mattress and you want to sit on the side of your bed, we're going to do ab leans. So I'm going to turn my chair so you can see. We're going to sit right up on the edge. My feet are out, my knees are still bent, and then my weight is in my heels. So my knees are bent, I'm going to sit up nice and tall. I'm going to cross my arms at my shoulders and just lean back like I'm going to touch the chair and then come back up. Touch my back, and notice that I'm keeping my torso strong. I'm staying nice and tall. I don't want to do this. I don't want to curl my back. Similarly, I'm contracting my core, I'm contracting my abs here to make sure my back stays flat. I don't want to curve back like this, like I'm not diving for the back of the chair. I want to stay nice and straight, like I've got a board on my back. 5, 6. If you need a little more challenge with this, don't come all the way up to the top here. So lean back. You can hold it for a second and then slowly come up, but don't come all the way up. So notice that I'm still leaning back just a little. So maintaining that contraction in your core throughout so that when you sit all the way up, it gets to relax. So if you are struggling with with this, sit up at the top and then go back. But if you're finding that you need a little more challenge with it, keep it in this range of motion right here where your core has to stay engaged throughout. Okay, so again, try 10 or 15 of those and really go nice and slowly, keeping that back nice and straight. Okay, next we're going to use the band. We're going to do some side stepping. So you can use the band by stepping on it like this and then holding it, and then we're going to do some side stepping. So I want it kind of equal on your feet here. So we're going to give that side stepping or that hip abduction some resistance. And the way I'm doing it is I'm going to keep my feet hip width apart or wider. I don't want to bring them together each time, so not this. I want to keep them wide the whole way. So I'm just kind of taking baby steps. Make sure you're not sliding or dragging that foot. You're just kind of taking tiny little baby steps. I'm also in just a little bit of an athletic stance, so I don't want to do this straight-legged. I want to be ready to move. I need to refresh my screen so I can make sure you can see me here. So making sure your hips are back just a little, your knees are bent, your chest is up and your core is tight, and you're just taking tiny little baby steps. So as you keep going in this position, you should be feeling it in those glutes. So a really good hip stabilizer. And then we're going to go back the other way. Nice and slowly, just taking baby steps. We're not dragging that back foot, keeping your toes straight forward. If this toe is kind of going out to the side, you're using your quads and your hip flexors are taking over, which is common because those are stronger and they want to help. We want to really focus on those glutes. So keep those toes straight forward and just baby steps as you go, nice and slowly. Okay, one more. We're going to do a reverse fly. So we're going to do one more shoulder exercise. Raise that up just a little. And again, you could do this seated. You could do it seated on a ball. You could do it in a tandem stance. I'll demonstrate that. So for a reverse fly, your arms are out straight, and then you pull out to the sides. So make sure your shoulders aren't up by your ears. Your shoulders always stay down, and then pull out to your sides. Thinking about squeezing those shoulder blades together again, similar to the row. 5, 6, 7, 8. If a tandem stance is too much, you can stagger your feet. 9. So just like this, 10. Or you can just stand. There's a lot of different ways you can do this. You could do it seated if you've got back pain or if you're really unstable on your feet. Do a tandem stance, do a staggered stance. You could even try one if you're feeling good about that. Making that unstable surface challenge your whole body all the way up the chain. Okay, go ahead and repeat through those a couple times. Like I said, this is a great one to take with you when you're traveling because you've just got one band and really that's all you need. You know, if you've got a chair in the hotel room or the bed in the hotel room and a band and that's it. That's all you need. So keep moving everybody and let me know if you have any questions and I'll see you next time. Thank you.